Ladies and gentlemen, have you calmed down yet, or are you still frustrated with yesterday's disappointing display at Ellen Road? Obviously, it ended in a draw. A lot of question marks surrounding Farke, the team, Illan Meslier. Let's just get into this. All right, guys, what's going on? My name is Ollie Ward. Welcome back to the Ollie Ward channel. Welcome back to 5 Things We Learned. It's kind of going to be that, but also some other points, a lot of other points that we need to talk about with this Leeds United side. We've seen the script before. Was yesterday a wake-up call for Leeds United and Daniel Farke? I think it was. Before we do get into this video, be sure to smash. Let's go for 250 likes. You guys absolutely smash the support on the last few videos. Thank you, and welcome to the new subscribers as well. Subscribe if you're new, though, and get all your comments in. I will be replying to every one of your comments. And yeah, yesterday still leaves a bitter taste in the mouth of a Leeds United fan. I still think a lot of people are trying to be like, it's okay, we're fine. I do understand that. The form guides don't lie, though. We've won 1 in our last 5. There's still question marks over, Illan Meslier, Daniel Farke's game management, not using the squad enough. The squad is in general, but Ampadu playing yesterday, even the back line, there's still question marks everywhere. If you look at the form guide, Burnley and Sheffield United first and second in the last 5. Leeds United sit 12th. That isn't good enough when you have 7 games left. And I said 7 cup finals yesterday, but someone commented saying, don't say cup finals because Leeds United don't do well in cup finals, which is completely understandable. But like I said, this isn't going to be your sort of generic 5 things we learned. I'm not going to go 1, Melier's rubbish, 2, Farke, you know what I mean? I'm not going to go into that. I'm going to just go into a few things that I kind of have thought about. And also, I'm going to go for a tweet from Jer from Leeds United, The View. You guys know him. He's a good friend of the channel. And he's tweeted out something which is pretty much what I've wanted to say in this video. But he's listed off points, and we'll go through them as well. But yeah, I still see people defending Illan Meslier. I'm not in that sort of club anymore. I do believe he should be dropped from the next game. I don't, I don't want the hatred towards him. When every time someone does bad, they go towards their nationality, they go towards this and stuff. He's not a good goalkeeper. He's not good at his job. If in my job, I came on here and or no, let's just say in my job. Okay, so I'm a presenter sometimes on the radio, and I kept swearing. First time, okay, get away with it. Second time, okay, what's going on? Third time, people are going, what you're doing. My manager goes, we've heard what you're saying, but go have another go. Fourth time, I swear, that's on the manager. That's on the manager. They know what I'm capable of. They know I do that. Why would they let me back on the air? Similar with Daniel Farke and Illan Meslier. What are you doing? You've seen him, make mistake after mistake. Take him out of it. Even, big Sam Allardyce came in. The first thing he done when he was in charge for Leeds for 4 games was take Illan Meslier out of goal. And that's Sam Allardyce. Daniel Farke now needs to look at that. The last 7 games, Illan Meslier can't start. He really can't. I don't think Daniel Farke will take him out. He won't. He trusts him. He still calls him the best goalkeeper in the league. But Daniel Farke's comments yesterday, he said something like, we're 100%. He said, I'm 100% convinced we're going to be a Premier League team next season. That statement is so silly and actually not really like Daniel Farke at all. That sort of sense of like, I don't know, lost the plot sort of thing, like convincing himself. That's what I saw from that press conference yesterday, or that sort of post-game reaction from Daniel Farke. I saw him trying to convince himself. So, yeah, 100% convinced. We've been on the receiving ends of wins. It's not nice on the the back end of it when you concede late. But Meslier yesterday, obviously, he did save a penalty, and congratulations to him. Well done. But we're treating him like a child. He done his job, and we're going, wow. He hasn't saved a penalty in 5 years, or maybe 1 in 5 years. That's his second penalty in 5 years. You look at some goalkeepers this season, I think James Trafford saved 2 in 1 game. So, and a lot of neutral fans say, if we had James Trafford or Cooper at Sheffield United, Leeds would be on 100 and something points right now. And Illan Meslier is a big fault. The back line, I don't think Pascal, since coming back into it, has been very good, really, at all. I'm a massive fan of Joe Roden. I like Bogle, I like Firpo. Pascal hasn't been brilliant for me since he's returned. Ampadu was the wrong decision to bring him back in yesterday. And that's kind of what Jared speaks about as well in this tweet. I'll get into that in a second. Tanaka, I don't know why he didn't really start. I understand with the Tanaka and Firpo thing because, international break. They didn't get a lot of time. Understandable. Fine. But still, I still think there's an Isaac Schmidt on the bench. I still think you've got to look at Manuel Solomon the last sort of 3-4 games. Hasn't been up for it. Gnonto, who is, it seems to be in brilliant form. His first touch yesterday, he scored a goal. Obviously, this is all hindsight. This is brilliant from a YouTuber. I'm not out there. I'm not there making the decisions. And but yeah, I think it's crazy. But just tweet, he said a day later and still not calm. He says Farke blames international break, but that doesn't affect Sheffield United, is what he says. He also blames it every single time after the international break, and that's completely correct. He blames it every single time after the international break of Leeds United to have a negative result. Oh, listen, yes, we haven't had a lot of time to practice together. We only had one training session. It doesn't affect anyone else, apparently, but Leeds United, the international break. Also, he goes in saying, he says he won't criticise a player publicly, aka Melier, but then talks about Tanaka's bad pass that leads to the goal, which, I don't understand why he can't just say, listen, we know Melier's not doing very well, but he kind of just said, we don't need to talk about this stuff. It's the elephant in the room, Daniel. It's on you now. We've as fans, we've kind of been like, I understand, you've got to back your goalkeeper, but he's made mistake after mistake. Like I can list at least 4 or 5 mistakes he's made this season. And that's not good enough. They're big mistakes as well. Sometimes he lets goals in, you like, oh, he could have saved that. We'll let him off, though. But there's a lot this season you go, what are you actually doing? Sunderland, probably both of the Hull goals, probably both of the Swansea goals as well. There's been ones against Portsmouth. There wasn't great ones against I believe it was Millwall. I don't know. Either way, I don't want to say it's completely Melier's fault because the whole team performance yesterday was terrible. He also says, like I touched on, we're 100% going to go up. Again, that comment is so out of no, you shouldn't be saying that, and us, I look back at my titles of videos saying, give us the title now, we're the best team in the league. I'm at fault of this, but at the end of the day, I'm not getting paid to play professional football. I'm just, having a laugh with, I say it all tongue in cheek a bit, like, give us the title now. And right now, of course, I'm losing my beans a bit, but we've seen the script before. Leeds United done this last year. You shouldn't have the manager of your football club saying, I'm 100% convinced we're going to be in the Premier League next year. Don't matter about the last 7 games. Don't matter about the next 7 games. We're going to be there next year. It just screams a bit like he's trying to convince himself, a bit stubborn. And if he believes that, he needs to change something. The stubbornness and lack of ruthlessness insist on putting Ampadu in always, and he's miles off it. And then he says here, not an Ampadu critique, it's on the manager. I thought that with Ampadu. He looked leggy. He looks like someone who's just returned from injury. And he's always done that thing where there's be a right back on the bench where he goes, no, Ampadu can play there. It's fine. You don't have to keep Ampadu on the pitch. I don't think Ampadu's this world beater. I really don't. I think he's a brilliant captain. I think he's a solid player. I don't think he's the best player in the squad at all. I really don't. I really, really don't believe that. He has good games. He's had better games at centre-half than he has centre-mid, in my opinion. But that's just where I'm at with him. He says manager needs to change how he views games and players, and he won't give up. The thing is, yeah, he says manager needs to change how he views games and players or we won't go up. I agree. Again, using your squad, using the bench and things like that. You need to use it. Willy Gnonto, Ramazani. I think Ramazani's wasted on the bench. Mateo Joseph, that trap to touch the ball yesterday. Leeds United conceded from our throw-in. Absolutely terrible. And then he kind of just says the last sort of point he makes is giving the squad 48 hours off to clear heads after an international break and then complaining they don't have enough training time to turn it around, which, again, I think the reason he's the voice of reason, he smashed it there with that tweet because it's kind of everything I wanted to say, but he's put it into words. And I don't get this. I'm letting them have 48 hours off. They've just had an international break, half of them. I know some of them played, but what are you doing in key moments? You need them to stay switched on. You really need them to stay switched on. You need to change things. Something needs to be, you don't need to be so stubborn in the way you play. It didn't work last year. It got you to 90 points last year and we didn't go up in the big games. And then this year, I'm not saying it's all over. Of course it's not. We're second, but I want to see more. I want to see a change. I want to see a convincing Leeds United because winning 1 in our last 5 compared to Sheffield United and Burnley is absolutely crazy. When we had the easier run in, and this is what I kind of like to say, that maybe we needed to play Sunderland, maybe we need to play Sheffield United and Burnley because we're up for them big games. We really are. It's the teams around us. We get naive, we get arrogant, and we think it's going to be a walk in the park. And people and teams turn up against Leeds. You want to beat Leeds. It's a cup final for teams. It is. And you want to beat Leeds. You want to say that you beat Leeds, which is fair enough. I know that sounds a bit arrogant, but it is fair enough. People up their game, Leeds United, are a bit arrogant when it comes to playing anyone that's not the top 6. And we need to change that. Daniel Farke needs to change that. Mez needs to get drops. And, we need to just have a complete turnaround. And that Luton game is so important for this season. Guys, I've been Ollie Ward. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Shout out to Jer for me using his tweet. He doesn't know about that. But either way, go show him some support. Also, drop a like, subscribe if you're new. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. Cheery.